Well, good afternoon and welcome to the membership webinar, Turning Struggling Clubs into Success with Proven Strategies. I want to thank everyone for being here on time because we like to start on time and also finish on time. Just a couple things to remind you, this is our ninth webinar. My, how time passes. Which also means that we're getting close to the end of the Rotary year. So if we want to make some moves in membership, this is the time to do it. Also, too, we have 3 more webinars coming up. One is going to be on membership reports. The other one is reducing attrition. And the other one is something special, Grow Rotary Tools. But today we're going to talk about how to deal with struggling clubs. Just some housekeeping. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A. But I'd like to also now introduce you to our guests today. We have Sarah, Curtis, and Aaron. They're going to be our panelists today. And I guess I would like to start off with first to introduce you to our team here. One of the things that you can do is go to the Zone website, Zone 25B29, and you will see resources for membership. And this is the team that can help you with membership, both establishing new clubs and also retention and our current clubs. And here at the bottom, you'll see our technical support staff. But let's start off this afternoon with Sarah and see what's going on in the world of Rotary International. Let's stop the share.
Yes. Hello, Lloyd. Thank you for having me back on the webinar today. I'm going to share my screen for a quick PowerPoint. As Lloyd mentioned, my name is Sarah. I'm a Regional Membership Development Officer with Rotary International. I'm excited to be here again on the webinar today. I hope you all are not sick of me yet, but we're going to talk a little bit about supporting struggling clubs and how we can support engagement and growth. So a couple of resources and flexibility opportunities and stories that I'd like to highlight today as we move through this. So as we're looking to work with clubs that may be struggling, the first resource I'd love to highlight is the club membership profile. If you want to take a look at this for your club, or if you are working in a role that's kind of working with clubs that might be struggling, this is a really great snapshot of what is going on within each club. It provides 5 years of membership numbers, and will show you the membership trends, but it will also show you 5 years of alumni membership, gender distribution, age distribution, as well as retention for existing members and new members. So it can really help you take a look at what's going on within the club and maybe target places where we could make some improvements. And as we're looking to make those improvements, I'm going to highlight another resource, and I may be a bit of a broken record today because it's my favorite one, membership assessment tools. This is available on rotary.org/membership, and I do believe it is one of the best resources we have available. After you look at the club membership profile, you can talk with club leaders, and the club itself to see kind of what those struggles might be and use these assessments to help guide you moving forward. So if that's understanding your community, doing a membership satisfaction survey, understanding who you might need to invite, prospective members you can invite, those are all available. And again, that's at rotary.org/membership. I'd also like to highlight some club flexibility. So maybe you've done the assessments and now you're looking towards implementation. And one of the biggest things we see that can make a really big difference is adding some flexibility in, and that can look a couple of different ways. It can be flexibility in format. So if you want to move away from maybe a traditional meeting, you can have traditional meetings as well as club socials, service projects, but kind of making a change in that format. You can also add flexibility through meeting frequency. Rotary clubs are only required to meet twice a month, and that can be in any format you choose. That can be through a traditional club meeting, a club social, a service project, but updating that frequency. And with either of those, you do just want to make sure that you're updating anywhere where prospective members and current members can find you. So make sure that your information is up to date on your website, social media, so people know how they can come to club meetings and engage. It can be flexibility in membership types. So you can offer corporate membership, associate membership, family membership. The sky is really the limit here, as long as you're updating those within your club bylaws, and that's available at rotary.org/flexibility. You may also, through the assessment, see that a change in club model might work. So that could be shifting into a cause-based club or a passport club. Again, with club models, the sky is kind of the limit here. Whatever works for your club and your members. And then the last, and I think maybe the biggest flexibility offering, is attendance. Rotary International does not keep any type of attendance, and you as club leaders are able to determine what that attendance looks like and update that however you see fit for your club and for any prospective members. So as we're looking to make changes to clubs that might not be working, these flexibility options are really a great starting point. And I'd love to highlight just a few clubs who have implemented some different options. The first is the Rotary Club of Seaford, Australia. They moved to meeting twice a month and rotating their meeting location. So they'll meet at a Rotarian's home, a restaurant, a hotel, a bookstore, but they rotate those meeting locations, and speakers have become the exception rather than the rule. So they're more of doing club socials and service projects. They're really focused on doing more service. An example of a cause-based club is the Twin Cities Rotary Eco Club. So this is a club that is focused on environmental issues, but they also want to have a positive impact and have fun through service and socials. They also have lower cost dues and fewer meetings that allows them to do more service. There's also the Rotary Ambassadors Club in Kansas. So they have a 20-member capacity. They meet twice monthly, once online and once for a Sunday cocktail hour. And then they have quarterly home-hosted Saturday night dinners. They also do partner memberships. So anyone can have their partner join them as a membership option. They're all Paul Harris Society donors, and then they do 3 larger projects annually. And then the last is the Rotary Club of Cross Timbers, Texas. When they chartered, they kind of listed what they thought would be the ideal club, and chartered at 62 members and grew to 100 members within their first year and have continued to grow since then. And they meet mid-mornings on Fridays after breakfast and after they've had a chance to drop the kids off at school. And there's a heavy emphasis on different forms of fellowship. And this is one of my favorite things. They focus on perfect engagement and not perfect attendance. And then they record every meeting for ease of access. So these are some ways that clubs have modified and used some of those flexibility options to engage and grow their membership. And then from past RI President Jennifer Jones, a quote from her is, "Don't water the weeds." When you're working with clubs who may be struggling, some clubs are going to be really eager to accept that help, and some clubs might not be. And if there are clubs who don't want to change and who are happy the way they are, don't worry about don't worry about changing them. Don't worry about spinning your wheels, forcing them to change. If clubs are happy with what they're doing, then rather than forcing them to change, look for other opportunities within that community to create different pathways and channels into Rotary. And finally, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. You can also reach out to our new regional membership officer for zones 25B and 29, Brent LeBlanc. If you're on the webinar next month, he will be here. So you'll have an opportunity to see him then. But in the meantime, if there are any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And of course, thank you so much for having me join you today. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Lloyd.
Sarah, thank you for that information. That was interesting information about those customized clubs. I know a few, but you know, the club in, of course, in Minnesota, and the one where it's almost like you almost have to do a survey to find out what they want and then provide those things to them. And two things comes to mind. One is that you're going to make sure your clubs grow, and you're providing the service that your members want. So that's great. So thank you very much for that. And we're looking forward to seeing Brent next month. So that would be great. Now, Kurt, it's going to be up to you. You're the next person on the docket. So tell us about first the club that you're in and the district, and tell us how you're going about handling struggling clubs in your area.
Okay, well, I am in District 5710 and the Junction City, Kansas club. Just a little background. I am relatively new to this area. I moved in here less than a couple of years ago. So the first thing I found when I visited Junction City Club was that it was in a decline and had been a decline like a lot of the organizations have been. And while they got ready for trying to get president for this current year, there wasn't anybody interested really in doing that. So one of the ladies who had been president of the Junction City Club, she and I got together and said, okay, let's you and I work this and see if we can bring the club back and get some more activity and some more interest. I had been president in a club in Florida, and she president here. So we worked really pretty good together, and we still work pretty well together. I've got some different ideas, having been in 2 or 3 different districts, and she knows the people and the personalities of the club. So, but the first thing we did, we changed the menu and the venue. We had been meeting in the church community room, and we finally found a restaurant that had a room that we could have and was available, and the food was decent and the price was decent. So that's the first major move we did toward changing things and getting some more activity and some more interest. The second thing we did was change the frequency, and Sarah mentioned some of that. We had been meeting, of course, every Tuesday at noon, and we changed it to the first and third Tuesdays. We think that really has helped. The survey that we took, which was required by the Olympics game that we're in, and made us do it. You know, you can take a survey anytime it's there, but the Olympics kind of motivated us to do it. It proved that everybody liked the frequency of the first and third. So only one person said that they ought to have it every week. So that was the first 2 major things that we did. Now, LaDonna and I worked together, and she believes that programs is the best thing that you have, and that's what you need to gain members, is good programs. That's true, but my emphasis is more on the service projects. I really believe that if you got a good service projects team, doing projects that are meaningful in your community, plus a good image team that's going to be publicizing them and making them visible to everybody in the community. And you can throw in the foundation for funds, just like we did. Our major project was a district grant. But you take a service team and the image team and the foundation, and I think you got that nucleus brings new members in. The focus is there, and it makes it a whole lot easier for us to talk. They almost would come and ask, I think. That's my philosophy on it. So what did we do then? Thinking about those two things, the results of our ideas. Let's take service projects first. We had two new members directly involved. And it was a project where we rededicated a building that was constructed back in 1918 by Rotarians here in Junction City to support soldiers at Fort Riley Army Post, which is adjacent to Junction City. The plaque had fallen down, got lost, and so that was our project. In the process, we got two new members out of that during the planning and the making it happen. Another project that we took a member from was one of our other projects is working with the police in their first responder problem. They are putting together a mental health training for their first responders so that they can throw in mental health people with the response of the police. We have helped do that. So we got one member then that's right now in the process of being inducted next month. So that was three that we got from service projects. And then the program side, hitting the programs, we had some city commissioners that were running for election, and we had those people come give 5 minutes. During that program, we had one of the commissioners joined as a result, and one of the people that came to see him joined as a result of that program. Another program was a craft beer opening that we went to, and through that process, we met somebody that was interested, and again, got a member there. We had a member, the recent speaker on one of the activities here in town. Now, I must give credit to LaDonna, my co-president, LaDonna Younghens. She is familiar with the people in the club, like I said, and so she talked to some of the former members, and we got 3 former members to come back into the club. Then one member was recommended by another Rotary Club. And then one of our new members, we got the sort of the old-fashioned way where you go talk to somebody and knock on the door, so to speak. Went up to Cloud County community and say, hey, who's working with the youth? And what do you know about Rotary? Do you interested in Rotary? Invite to a lunch with us and become a member. Today, actually, we had a meeting today, and we inducted what I call the 1040 girl. She was the 10th new member and bringing us up to a total of 40 new members, not new members, 40 members total. And that 40 members happens to be our goal that we set in the citation challenge. So it's been a good day for us. Those are the kind of the things that we've done. You can have good programs and you can have good projects, but it does come down to inviting them. We have a problem with people inviting. I think that our club we started with 30 this year, and I think of those 30, we probably had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people have invited a guest. And that makes it, and I wonder a lot, but that's another subject of perhaps on why people don't invite. It seems to be a little bit of a problem. So that's sort of where we're going, and that's where we've gone. Any comments? Want me to get into anything else in particular?
Well, Kurt, thank you very much for that information. You hit one of my, I guess, little red buttons here when you said invite members. Um, I'm a past district governor. When I used to go around to clubs, I used to ask how many people invited folks to this particular meeting, and no one would raise their hands. So I just felt like they just, because I was speaking, they didn't want to invite anyone. But the reality of it is that you're absolutely right. Membership can be easy when we invite members to our meetings and to our projects, when they actually get a chance to see what we do. And, 10 new, if I'm not mistaken, are you saying 10 new members this year so far?
Yes, we've
Started with
got
30
10.
and your goal was 40?
That's right.
Wow.
We had 36 last year, and then as the end of the year, you call out some people. Some people don't rejoin, and so we started with 30, and are up to 40 today, and we have 2 more people that have been approved by the board that will be inducted in the next month, our next meeting.
Well,
So
Kurt,
we have done. I'm proud of the people, the members, and the activity that we've been able to pull together with the 30 people. They've been active, and and they've responded to LaDonna and I's and some of our ideas, and so far so good. Now whether we can keep them, that's be our next challenge, won't it?
well, I love what you've done with surveys. I know that's part of the Membership Olympics, but the idea that you did a survey and you put all those components together, from image, doing projects and speakers working together to really impact membership. And the thing that's probably the most important, you set a goal and you reach your goal. So that is fantastic. You should be commended for that. Your club should be commended. And you're going to have a couple more new members also. So thank you very much. Stick around for the Q&A because we will probably have a few that you can address. But now we're going to have Aaron talk about some of the things that they've been doing. Let us know a little bit about you and also the club that you're with, the club and the district. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Aaron Caldwell here from District 5630. I'm in the Gothenburg Noon Rotary Club. I'm the membership chair for our district as well. So I really like all the talk about the survey because that's been a really big part of what I've been pushing in our district this year. We've also done the Rotary Olympics, and I've put a little spin on it. We took it, we adjusted a little bit, and then we incentivized it. The district incentivized it. So we've got our games. Some of them are very simple. Some of them are a little bit more complicated. They've all got kind of the underlying aim at engagement, retention, and then growth, at the end. But our games, and I think I got to be honest, it's been a little bit since I've looked at the original Olympics, but we've got 6 games. We've got a bonus round. So we've got one is appoint a membership chair, pretty straightforward, but some of our clubs don't have them, which is one of my worst pet peeves. Define membership goals, survey your club, which again, I hit on all the time. Find out what your members want. If people aren't happy with how the meetings go, if they're not happy with the service projects, ask them why. Ask them what they're interested in. It's very simple, and it seems very simple when you say it out loud, but it's real. Ask them what they want to do. Game 4, have an engagement activity. So something fun, a social event, something like that. Have a retention workshop or meeting. So that's where I ask the clubs to, okay, pull your surveys, get together with your membership team or your leadership team and analyze the results and come up with a plan and put some of these things into action. Invest back into your members so that they are more engaged, so that they stick around longer. Game 6, have your club's membership chair complete the membership committee basic learning plan. So doing a little bit of that kind of investment in them as the membership chair, which then, I see that as an investment in that club's future. Then the bonus round, is sponsor or nurture a new service companion to Rotary Club. And I think that was on the originals too. I made that our bonus round because that one's obviously, I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. We've got a couple of them that we're working on here. We've just signed off on one in 5630. That's not an afternoon project. So it got a bonus round because it's got a higher dollar amount stuck to it. So, and then I've got kind of the different levels. Basically, they complete so many games, here's a cash prize. They complete more games, here's a cash prize. They complete the bonus round. And then I threw out some highest membership gain, highest overall performing clubs. So that kind of just takes a couple of things into factor when we figure out that, and then just membership, membership gain. So that's kind of district wise. We've been doing as a district, the membership drive, our push. We just did the Olympics. We put some cash behind it. You know, and the cash is just for clubs to bring home to their communities. They're funds that the district raise. We do some district fundraisers. We've got cash for this sort of a thing. Yeah, this is just a way for membership to grow and clubs to kind of capture some dollars to bring back to their own communities to put to use. Something that our club did in Gothenburg. So our current president, I'm not sure if he's on right now. He probably wouldn't love me just spitting fire about him, but he's a fireball. When he came back from Pets, when he took over, he was full of energy and it was fantastic. So I haven't been in Rotary insanely long, but my first few years, it's kind of dog and pony show. I joined because when I took my job here out of school, one of the requirements was, well, you got to get involved one way or another, you know, and Rotary was where I landed, and it was good, you know, but looking back, yeah, it's kind of bland, you know. And he really mixed things up. He brought some energy. He made it fun. You're going to hear me say that over and over and over again. One little membership drive that we did last year, and I've been asked to kind of discuss this thing multiple times. It was very fun. I suppose it's unique. I don't even remember how we came up with it. I want to say it was literally over some beer. We were just chatting. Hey, what do we want to do? Let's do this. So we kind of designed our club's NFL draft, or Rotary draft is what we called it. We spent a meeting, our club, I think at the time we had about 40 members. We split up into teams. And we spent a whole meeting basically brainstorming prospects in the community. So who do you know that would make a good Rotarian that nobody's asked to become a Rotarian? You know, who would really step up and fill the shoes, fill the need for membership in our club. So we literally, I guess I should say within the clubs, we came up with these names. And there was a little overlap between clubs, which is fine. The second meeting, we came back, we wrote all the names on a piece of paper in the front of the room, and we started our NFL draft. We had a rock, paper, scissors contest to see which teams would go first, and we went down the line with the teams, picking names off of our list to give that team the right to pursue that member. And one of the things I remember, it was a hoot. We actually ended up somehow auctioning off the rights to pursuing a particular individual in the community. That was a lot of fun. That was just a little dumb fundraiser we had on the spot, you know, because there was a little bit of little competition. It was maybe got a little bit heated, but anyway, went down the list. We chose prospects for each team to pursue. And then I don't remember the exact timeline. I want to say it was like a month or 2 months. And each team had that long to go after those members and ask them to come to Rotary, and then convince them or ask them if they wanted to join up, if they wanted to join Rotary. That was a fun and very easy way. Again, gosh, membership is a problem. When we did that, growing was not a problem. It was really easy to sit down and just think, gosh, who would make a good Rotarian? Well, what about this guy? What about this gal? Yeah, absolutely. Has anyone asked them? No. So we asked them, and we came. And I think we increased our membership by something like 20%. So I'm not talking about doubling our club, but when you talk about the numbers, the average club size, this and that in your districts, that's a pretty big chunk, especially when attrition is so high. So, oh, the winners. Winners of the competition that we did. They got their tabs paid for at one of our social events, basically. So we went to a bar, had a fun meeting. Those on the winning team got free beer and bragging rights, and I think everyone was going after the bragging rights more. It was a really fun little competition. So boil that down, if you don't want to do something like that, that's okay. But bring the energy, have fun. Seriously, like, if you're doing excuse me, if you're doing dog and pony show and maybe people aren't being engaged and they're not smiling all the time when they're at the meetings, and maybe they should be smiling, maybe I remember going up to our president after he had come back and we started to kind of switch things up, and I said, hey, that was a fun meeting. I actually said that. And then, okay, and this is a challenge to literally everyone in here. Think about it. How many times have you left a Rotary meeting and went, that was a lot of fun? I'm just talking about a regular meeting that we had. We had I think we had a normal program that day. We had a meal, but the environment was totally different because the energy in the room was up. We were literally having fun just gathering. That would be my stress to everyone, is that, okay, if you think your club is struggling, take a look at it. Are people enjoying showing up? And I'm not saying that we're not all happy going to our Rotary meeting, but take the next step, bump it up, bring that energy, have that fun. And I don't know, we found that doing that asking those people to join, that showing them that we enjoyed being there, being with each other, enjoyed doing these projects that we were doing, it sure made a little membership push pretty stinking easy. So that would be my real experience, I guess, that I've had in the short amount of time I've been in Rotary. That was extremely successful, just with membership, with growing. Yeah, again, bring the energy, have fun.
Oh, Aaron, that was great. You sort of highlighted a couple things that we've been talking about, and you just put two words exactly how to do it. One is the club environment. You hear us talking about Rotary happens at the club level, but if you're going somewhere where it's going to be fun and it's infectious, other people want to be a part of it.
Yep.
And you should never start talking football around me or draft around me, because we don't have enough time to really get into those type of conversations. But I love the idea that you took the Membership Olympics and made it your own. You did some tweaks. And the thing about it is, too, all our clubs are different. And we need to, do the first thing you did was talk about surveys. You can't do anything unless you know something about your club. You have to know that likes, dislikes, what they want, and be able to provide those things for them. And that is exactly what you did. So I'm elated with the idea about the smile. When you in your Rotary meeting, or you're leaving with a smile and saying to yourself, was that a fun meeting? So that was great. So Farron, I'm going to sort of open it up to you. Do we have any Q&As, any questions people might want to
we have
for our
a
panelists?
bunch. We have a
Oh.
whole bunch.
I see.
So let's see. One of the ones that I know Sarah was going to talk about a little bit offline on one. The question was, what ideas do you have for a traveling club, like you had mentioned before? How do you find them on Club Finder?
That is a great question. And that's actually one where I'm going to need to touch base with some of the clubs and with our team to see what the best practice is for that. So if that's a question that anyone has, sarah.diller@rotary.org, please email me and I'll get back to you as soon as I have a good best practice for that.
One other one for you, Sarah, was, will your PowerPoint be accessible online?
I believe it will be sent following the webinar. Is that correct, Lloyd?
it's recorded and the recording will be up, so they will be able to see the PowerPoint from the recording.
Okay, again, if you want to reach out to me, if you're interested in getting a copy of the presentation, send me an email and I'm happy to follow up with you with a copy of that.
One question in here that I thought was kind of interesting. One club was talking about losing quite a few members because there's not as much attention on Rotary, and was asking if there's been any thought about doing a high-profile social media campaign to gain more recognition for Rotary. It sounds like that would be something like RI generated.
This actually is a really great question. And I'd love to tie this back to the DMC funding. That $500 district membership chair funding can be utilized for you to design regionally specific ad campaigns for your district. And so if you're interested in that right now, we don't have any kind of large scale levels of that type of advertising. But if you're interested in that as part of your district membership chair funding, you can reach out to me. You can also reach out to Brent LeBlanc, who I mentioned at the end of the presentation. And either of us would be happy to connect with you and help develop that if you're interested.
Excellent. And another one here is, you may have already mentioned this, Aaron, but there was a question out there for Aaron. Membership Olympics, what incentives are you using for Membership Olympics?
Yeah, so with our there's 6 games and 1 bonus round, and I'd be happy to share this with anyone. Like I said, I literally just took the Olympics that was given to me when we put our little spin on it. Anyway, 6 games, 1 bonus round. And this will be unique. If someone mimics this will be unique for every individual district, depending on how much cash you have available, because we're kind of banking on, hey, how many people are going to participate in this. $100 goes to every club that completes 3 out of 6 of the Olympic games. $250 are added on top of that for any club that completes 6 out of 6. The bonus round is worth $500, and that goes to any club that does that. And again, that's sponsoring a new club. That's why the different dollar amount, bringing in those new members. We're doing a $500 for the highest membership gain, $500 for the highest overall performing club. And depending on how the clubs do, they might, one club might take home both of those. The difference between highest membership gain and the overall performing club is attrition, basically. I've been hammering on attrition because it is way too high. So we're going to incentivize highest membership gain. You can gain 15 members and lose 25. That's not the highest performing club. The highest performing club gains 15 members and only loses 2. That's the difference there. And then depending on participation at the end of the year, as we look back, we tally everything, and I've been keeping track of it as we've been going. We're giving away cash to clubs that reach different levels of membership gain. And at the beginning, I stated prizes will also be given out for membership increases in 5% increments, depending on unutilized cash. So if we've got half the district, let's say half the district does not participate in the Olympics, some of the money that I've planned on being used on these low-hanging fruit games that maybe every, again, pet peeve here, every club should be doing, we're going to reward those clubs that are pushing. So that is the incentivization of this Olympics. And I think he asked another question.
There's one other question that's kind of related to this. Well, is related to this. Where did the funding come from? How did the district find the funds?
Sure. District fundraiser. We sell football pools as a district. So district-wide, we make football pools and we sell those. So the Huskers, I want to say they're on the side, then the other team's on the top. You know, the number chart, 100 different potential combinations for every single game. We sell those as a district, that money gets pooled. That's not the only the Olympics here is not the only thing that goes towards, but basically we do district-wide fundraisers for this sort of thing, for things at the district level.
Excellent. So someone else asked, how do you find the fairness among the different size clubs? For instance, a small club versus a large club.
Sure. So, and there's a little bit of that where we decided how we wanted to word particular things. If and this maybe gets after the larger clubs a little bit more than the smaller clubs as far as fairness goes, because last year, one of our smaller clubs creamed everyone in this sort of a thing. We had a different membership challenge last year, but they were able to, because of a technicality, just sweep it, you know, because they only had 12 members. So when they gained 6 members, holy cow, that's a massive increase in membership. So a couple of these different rewards, they've been worded so that it takes into account how many members are in each club. You know, if 10%, or let's say 10-member club, you know, they gain 1 member, okay, 10% increase, that looks really good. If a 50 person club only gains, you know, something less, I guess we attempted to, as I said here in Stutter, we attempted to word it so that we kind of take that into account. We're doing net gain. We're putting that into a percentage based off of how many people. Because if I've got a club with 76 people, I expect that, you know, there's going to be plenty of members that can pull their weight. And, you know, so we basically just compare the clubs on a percentage type basis.
Oh, excellent. All right, and there's one person who one of you to talk about more about retention workshop. I think that might have been you, Aaron, that mentioned that, or is it someone else?
One of our games is have a retention workshop / meeting, and I'll just read what I've got under it.
There you go.
So analyze the results of your survey, come up with a plan with your leadership team and the district membership team, you know, and that is just ask us, hey, we're here to support you. How your club can implement the feedback from your membership. Take that plan to your membership. Ask them what they want, come up with a plan, have a meeting, do this at a meeting. You know, maybe this can be the program for that meeting, you know, I mean, put a little time into this, this investment in your own club, take it back to your membership, let them know what you're doing to make changes, to make the environment, the club, what the club's doing, what they want. So yeah, that just had to do with surveying your clubs, finding out what they want, because if you're not doing what the majority of your membership wants, I don't know if they're going to stick around. You know, that's the retention aspect of it.
All right, and I think this would be for any one of the panel to answer. Our club averages at 100 members. How can we keep that many engaged?
Okay, everybody's quiet now.
I was gonna say I can pop in, but you know me, I'm about to be my broken record self and say membership assessment tools, the member engagement survey. I think ask your club what they need to feel engaged, and then go from there. Maybe it's offering different types of ways to connect outside of the regular meeting. But I think asking members what they need to feel engaged would be a really great starting point.
Anyone else?
I can't believe these two are quiet because they both said during their presentation how important surveys were. To get to know their club. So if you have 100 members or 200 members, you have the opportunity to find out if you have 10 members that want to meet every other week or 10 members who want to do XYZ. And with that information, Rotary International is giving you the flexibility to meet those needs. I think one of the problems we might have in those situations is we don't want to change. You know, we're so stuck in the way we've done it before in the past. We don't want to do something different. But I don't want to sound like a broken record, but surveys seem to be one of those key components that will give you that information. So, but it's up to you to act on it. You can have the information, but if you don't act on it, at least you'll know why they're leaving, unfortunately. So,
And I think to Lloyd's point, change can feel a little bit scary. Don't be afraid to make a change, but also if the change isn't working, if you make a change and it's not being well received, don't be afraid to say, okay, this isn't working. We're going to regroup and try something different. But don't be afraid to take that initial leap and react to the survey and have a change and then go from there.
All right.
Lloyd, could I say something?
oh yeah, sure.
I just was going to comment. One of the clubs I was at in Ohio, one of the clubs outside of Columbus, Ohio, we had maybe 100, 120, 130 members. And I always thought that really with a club that big, the only way that you get to know people and feel the camaraderie of Rotary is in a, least I say, a committee or a team meeting. Let's say I think you got to have a membership team and an image team and a youth team and quite a few people on that team. And if those people get together and have a meeting outside of your club meeting as they plan something to do, that's the only that 140. I had trouble keeping up with people, and I think everybody else felt that they couldn't to come for an hour and the set. The only people you meet is the person at your table, and so I think that a committee group, or you don't have to call it committee because I know a lot of people don't like committee word, but call it a team and a team leader, and get some groups that you can have a meeting off time and 7 or 8 people, and you can know people, and that's one way that I think might help a big club. That's all.
Oh, absolutely. Making that big club a smaller unit where you can get to know those folks. And you also have the opportunity to maybe change and go to different teams and really get to know the folks who are in that club. Do we have any more questions, Farron, that we can answer?
No other questions. I did get a lot of positive feedback on both Kurt and Aaron's presentation. So, so good job, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much. And Sarah, thank you for kicking this off and leading us in the right direction. So, if we do not have any more questions, I would like to maybe end this webinar, and I want to thank our guests, our panelists today, Aaron, Kurt, and Sarah, for making this possible. Remember, next month we will be talking about records and forms and things that we need to be very aware of and how to use them to help grow membership. So thanks again, everyone, and have a good night.